Vamos carajo, brothers, this is your boy JT and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. And usually I'd be sitting here telling you about how things have been absolutely popping off over the past few hours, few days, few weeks, anything. But unfortunately, the only thing that has been popping and breaking, better to say, is Leeds United fans' hearts. That is right, because Kalvin Phillips, as we all know, is off to Manchester City for what a lot of us would consider quite a low transfer fee, with it being rumoured to be around 42 to 45 million pounds. And it's a bit of a sad day for Leeds fans. It really is. Even if you have optimism that the club are going to replace him or aren't, he's a Leeds legend. He epitomises Leeds as a player, as a man, as a character. He's humble, he's hardworking. He always has a smile on his face, and he is a top player. I'd go as far as to say world class. Some people may disagree with me on that one, but I think he really is an elite midfielder, and it is really sad to see him go. I'm gutted, to be honest. I knew it was going to happen. We all probably knew it was going to happen. But I am gutted. I am. It's tough. It's a tough pill to take. I'll put it that way. I do feel like we can still use that money and reinvest it well and have a good season after that. But, you know, it's just hard to have not only the spine ripped out of your team, but the soul, the character, the one guy who you always just kind of felt was always going to be there, even though it was always hard for him to be there because of how good he is and how, unfortunately, we're not at that level where he should be playing right now. But it just felt like he epitomized. He was us on the pitch, basically. He was the fan playing on the pitch, living out all of our dreams for us all to see. And obviously, the romantic in us all would have loved to have seen him lifting a Champions League or a Premier League at Ellen Road. Hey, we can all dream, can't we? But unfortunately, it wasn't to be, and he is gone. But it does seem like Leeds are wasting little time in getting over him and trying to reinvest that money into the squad. But before we do get our teeth stuck into all of that transfer action, let me know what you guys think about the price tag. Let me know what you guys think about Kalvin Phillips departing. Are we going to be able to replace him? Is that money enough for us to be able to replace him with? Should we have eked more out of it? What do you think about the guy City are offering coming from the other end? What do you think about all of this? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And just quickly, before we do start, if you do enjoy the content around here, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more future content. But let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the meat of the action. And with Kalvin Phillips gone and Rafinha looking set to follow suit, it is imperative that Leeds United do not sell any more of our top assets. And one man who is on the chopping block right now is that man, Jack Harrison. And Leeds United have apparently slapped a huge valuation on Tottenham Hotspur target Jack Harrison. Tottenham Hotspur will reportedly have to pay a hefty transfer fee if they are to sign Leeds United attacker Jack Harrison. According to Sky Sports, the Whites have put a huge valuation on the 25-year-old who has been in demand recently, with Spurs also being linked with a move for Leeds' Rafinha, as well as Leeds United target Cody Gakpo. This is really alarming stuff. They either want Jack Harrison, Rafinha, or the guy we're going to sign to replace Rafinha with. Tottenham are really gunning for us right now. It seems like a bit of a personal assault, if you ask me. Sky's Lyle Thomas wrote, Spurs have also inquired about Cody Gakpo. I can exclusively reveal, but he is one of many Netherlands players told by Louis van Gaal he must be playing regularly to get into the World Cup 2022 squad. Tottenham Hotspur also like Jack Harrison a lot, but he has a huge valuation on him. Reportedly, this valuation is meant to be around £30 million, which we have discussed before, and I think it's good. We need to I think we need to up that even more, and I think we need to up it to 35, 40 million pounds, which arguably is a bit mad because you're saying Jack Harrison has the same valuation of Kalvin Phillips, and when you put things that way, it is a little bit mental. But we can't afford to lose three of our most important players over the past 3 to 4 years in Harrison, Rafinha and Phillips. We physically can't. No matter what you think about Harrison, no matter what you think we could replace him with, we cannot afford to make that many wholesale changes to our starting 11 in such a short period of time. So I think this is a must to keep him. I think it is a must to keep him. I think we should try and sign him down to a longer deal if we can get him for another couple of years. So if we do have to let go of him at some point, we can charge a little bit more of that green cashola. What do you think about this one? Would you be happy to see Jack Harrison go? Do you think we should be looking to offload him within the next 12 months? Or do you think he has a big role to play in this proposed 3 to 5 year plan that Leeds are apparently building? And look, as we were talking about there with that Kalvin Phillips thing, him being valued at 35-40 million pounds, Phillips did go for a little bit cheap, didn't he? Look, I was listening to Joe just yesterday, and he was talking about how, you got to look at the other midfielders in his position. You know, the likes of Fabinho, the likes of Kante, the likes of Matic, all these guys that haven't gone for as much. They've gone for around 40 million pounds, 50 million pounds max for players in that position that are meant to be some of the world's best midfielders. So someone playing in Phillips's CDM position, is it likely that he's going to command a price tag of 60 to 70 million pounds? Probably unlikely, but then you put it in the same frame of mind of saying someone like Iwobi went for more money than Kalvin Phillips, and for me that's a bit mad, because you're not taking into account with these CDMs the clubs they came from. For example, Fabinho coming from the French league, they're not going to be able to command as high of a wage as or however high of a transfer fee as someone playing in the lucrative league that is the Premier League. You then look at the N'Golo Kante transfer and you're saying, well, he came from the Premier League champions Leicester City. Yes, he did, but first of all, that was about, if my brain serves me correctly, about 4 or 5 years ago, right? Inflation has hit big time since then. Big time. Players are commanding a lot higher of transfer fees now. Clubs are commanding higher transfer fees than that, and hey, I think we could have eked a little bit more out of it. Let me know what you guys think about that. Sorry to hark on about the Phillips thing again, but right now I'm pretty sure that is all most Leeds fans are really thinking about right now. And speaking of Phillips, could we use the money to replace or replenish our attacking output and go in for this man, Charles de Ketelaere? That is right, Leeds United are apparently considering a £34 million bid for Charles de Ketelaere. Leeds are considering the possibility of making a €40 million bid to land Charles de Ketelaere, according to Belgian journalist Alexandra Brachem. According to Team Talk, it is Leicester City and AC Milan who are the main competitors for Leeds in signing him, after the Belgian had an outstanding 21-22 season, making 49 appearances, scoring 18 goals and getting 10 assists. He is a great attacking threat, and this is quite contradictory actually, because I was reading articles yesterday that were telling me, because they want €40 million for him, Leeds have been priced out of a move for Charles de Ketelaere, and now they're saying we're apparently ready to make that £34 million bid. So I don't know, it's really confusing right now. I think this should be a good move, and I think after selling Kalvin Phillips, we are going to have to move very quickly now. We will get into the guy that we did just sign as a replacement, well, not a replacement, but as a little sweetener from Manchester City. But Leeds are apparently moving to get Charles de Ketelaere, and according to another report which came out literally a few hours ago at 11:56 last night, Leeds United have reportedly already made their opening move to land Charles de Ketelaere by making an offer for the Club Brugge forward. According to the Calciomercato, Premier League side Leeds United have tabled an opening bid for the highly talented Belgian international Charles de Ketelaere. The 21-year-old has made a name for himself at Club Brugge and is among the rising stars in European football. He remains grateful for the opportunities received at Bruges, but is keen to move on, and there is no shortage of interest in him either, with AC Milan, Leicester City and Leeds all keen. The Whites have now made their opening offer and tabled an offer for the 21-year-old. De Ketelaere can also play on the right-hand side, but it is a central attacking role that he thrives in. The attacking midfielder possesses good movement and also has an eye for making key passes that split opposition defenses open. And this is what I'm saying, man. This is finally that Pablo Hernandez replacement, and they're talking about potentially moving Klitsch on in a few years and getting someone that could play in Klitsch's role in that central attacking midfield role. This would be the perfect replacement for me. And as they talk about the fact that he is suited for that attacking midfield role, I think that we are still going to go for a winger as well as him, and I think that's very exciting. Look, I know we're all down in the dumps right now because we have just lost Kalvin Phillips, but just humour me this, all right? It may seem unlikely, you may call me a clickbait merchant for even suggesting this, but imagine we sign Charles de Ketelaere, imagine we sign Cody Gakpo, and then we sign Tyler Adams, and then we lose Rafinha as well. Those three players, I think that's very exciting. I do think that's very exciting. I think de Ketelaere, Brendan Aronson, and Gakpo, it's very unlikely we signed those three, but let's say we did. That that replaces the quality that we would lose if we lost Rafinha. That definitely replaces the quality we would lose in Rafinha. And then go in for a Tyler Adams as well, and I think that's a successful transfer window. Yes, we may need a fullback, we may need a left back coming in there as well, but to sign those 3 players and lose Rafinha and Kalvin Phillips, I still think that's a successful transfer window, just because of the quality I think we will get in the likes of Ketelaere and Cody Gakpo. I think that's a very good transfer window if you ask me. However, it isn't certain yet, with the biggest threat to our aspirations of getting him coming from the San Siro, and AC Milan have apparently identified De Ketelaere as a priority, and whether they will raise the stakes by making an offer for the 21-year-old Belgian international remains to be seen. Only time will tell. Now, what time doesn't need to tell for is the player that Leeds are getting immediately to play in central midfield, and that is Darko Giabbi, who is apparently set to sign a 4-year deal at Leeds United ahead of the Kalvin Phillips transfer. Man City have basically lumped in this, and it's meant to be a separate deal to the Kalvin Phillips thing, and it's meant to be a £5 million deal. Now, this is interesting. It is interesting. He'll most likely go straight into the youth team, and he'll bolster up a midfield there, maybe push Lewis Bate further advance into the main team for Leeds. But this, for me, it's a little bit questionable. It's a little bit questionable for me, because you have to look at the other players that we were apparently linked with from Manchester City. We're talking Romeo Lavia, and we're talking McAtee. I'm sorry, I almost mispronounced that there. McAtee and Lavia. What happened to those guys, huh? What happened to those guys? Why are we not getting that as part of the deal? Why have we suddenly got this guy instead, Darko Giabbi? And I'm not trying to mug off Darko Giabbi. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know the most about this guy. I haven't really had enough time to really research about him or know what's going on with him, because this has all happened quite suddenly. He could be a very good player for the future. However, what has happened to the likes of McAtee and Lavia, who we were meant to get? And why are we paying £5 million for him? Is this massively under his valuation or something? We're paying £5 million for him, selling Phillips for £42 million, so we're only making £37 million out of this transaction here. I don't know. It seems a little bit questionable for me. Obviously, we don't know exactly how much Kalvin Phillips is going to sign for, but apparently it is around that £42 to £45 million with add-ons. And hey, what do you guys think about this one? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about Darko Giabbi. Are you happy with it? Do you think it's a good move? Do you think Leeds have done well here? How many more midfielders do you think we need to sign now to replace Phillips? Do you think Darko Giabbi and one more central midfielder and a Tyler Adams or something like that will be enough to replace him? I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say down below. And speaking of Tyler Adams, journalist Pete O'Rourke has apparently reacted and given his verdict on Leeds' pursuit of the RB Leipzig midfielder. The long-standing admiration in Adams has been ramped up a notch in recent weeks as reports continue to link Leeds' own Kalvin Phillips with a move away from Ellen Road. And that's exactly what has just happened now. Speaking to Give Me Sport, O'Rourke suggested that Adams would be the perfect choice to succeed the 26-year-old Englishman in the heart of the Leeds midfield. I think it would be great to replace Phillips if they were to go out and buy someone like Tyler Adams, who's an American international and has played at the highest level in the Champions League for RB Leipzig. Exactly what I've been saying when people have been comparing him to someone like Kamara, who hasn't played at the top level. He's played in Europe. Yes, he's played in Europe, Kamara, but he hasn't played for a team like RB Leipzig. You know what I mean? It's different. If you're playing with better players, you're competing with better players, and he has showed that he can do it at the top level. I know it hasn't necessarily worked out for him amazingly this year at RB Leipzig, but he's still done a good job for them, and I think he would be better suited to succeed Kalvin Phillips at Leeds United. If you're looking at someone like Roca, pairing the midfield with him, you've got someone who's very good on the ball and someone who's very good at breaking up the play off the ball. I think that's a good deal if you ask me. I think that's a good partnership we could get. I still do want to get another holding midfielder who can play back up to either of them and kind of fit in there. You could argue that Lewis Bate is maybe versed for that position, but only time will tell. Adams is also probably a little bit less injury prone than Phillips, so maybe a little bit more reliable. I think we could still have positivity coming in for Leeds United once losing Kalvin Phillips if we do replace them with the players I linked earlier. But hey, what do I know at the end of the day? Let me know what players you guys would want to replace Kalvin Phillips with, and what players you think we will be able to replace Kalvin Phillips / Rafinha with down below. And finally, speaking of a player Leeds are apparently moving in for, and this, I mean, from you guys will not be happy with this one, but apparently Leeds are really ramping up our interest in Adama Traore, and we're apparently going to get him for for a cut price. Of course, with him only having limited time of 12 months left on his contract at the Molineux, it is looking like Leeds are really ramping up in our pursuit for him. But let me know what you guys think about all these moves down in the comment section down below. And for now, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.